Chris and Shannon Watts painted a perfect picture of a suburban couple until the early morning of August 13, 2018, when he snapped and took out his entire family. Hello everyone, this is Grammatized by Lily, and on today's episode I'm going to be talking about the Watts family mother. Chris and Shannon met in 2010 when Chris sent a friend's request to Shannon on Facebook. It was a dark period in her life. She was battling health issues and insecurities.
In the part where I gave up on everything, I quit my job. It was kind of temporarily, but kind of quit my job of 9 years. I just said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You don't understand me. You don't understand what's going on in my life. And I quit.
So initially when she saw the request, according to Shannon, she told herself she was never going to meet him. But one thing led to another, and 8 years later, they had two beautiful, adorable daughters and were living in Colorado.
What the heck? I'm never going to meet him. Except, one thing led to another, and 8 years later, we have two kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
On May 28, 2018, Shannon posted that she was pregnant with their third child, a boy, and they were going to name him Nico. But when the video was posted on Facebook, people noticed that Chris wasn't too happy about it. It was later to be revealed that he didn't want another child by text messages Shannon sent to a friend while their marriage was falling apart.
Just the test.
That's awesome.
Their marriage was falling apart, and while Shannon was busy trying to save their marriage, Chris was busy cheating with a younger, vibrant woman named Nicole Kassinger. In June 2018, Chris met Nicole Kassinger at work and was completely blown away by the bombshell beauty. She was beautiful, she was single, she had no kids, and she was fresh out of the can. According to Kassinger, Chris wasn't wearing a wedding band as at the time they met, so she did not know he was married. But this was later revealed as a lie when police found out that she had been searching Google for Chris Watts as early as August 2017, almost a year before they even spoke for the first time. Based on her Facebook page, Shannon had it all. A satisfying career that allowed her to travel the world, two gorgeous, adorable little girls, a doting husband, and a new baby on the way. But on August 13, everything turned upside down when Shannon failed to show up for her doctor's appointment. Her friend Nicole Atkinson was worried because Shannon usually texted her every morning. So after texting Shannon for several minutes without getting a response, she decided to drive down to her house. Her worries escalated when she arrived at her house and found out that Shannon's car was still parked in the garage and there was no sign of her or the girls. This was less than 12 hours after she had dropped Shannon off the night before, following a work trip. She decided to call the police. On arrival, the police found out that the house was locked and there was no sign of life inside, except for the small dog that was barking frantically. Chris was called, but he claimed Shannon went on a play date with the girls.
What's Shannon's number?
It's 910.
The police decided to wait for Chris to arrive so they could run a welfare check.
850-3286.
So when he came back and opened the doors for the police, on entering the house, Shannon's purse containing her phone and keys and a box containing her kids' medication were found. There was no way she could have left that behind. Her wedding ring was found on the bedside table. Chris initially told the police that he had no idea where his family might be and that he had not seen his wife since 5:15 a.m. the previous day when he left for work.
The people that I know. Right. Who you guys bank with? Chasing USA.
CCTV footage from his neighbor's house showed Chris backing up his truck and loading stuff in the early morning of August 13, 2018. A body cam footage from a police officer showed Chris pacing around his neighbor's living room while watching the footage with them, sweating and looking nervous. It would later emerge that Chris was actually loading the bodies of his wife and 2 young daughters. On Tuesday, in the hours between the disappearance of his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters, Chris Watts stood outside the family home in Frederick, Colorado, and pleaded for their return. Chris told local TV station KMGH that he wanted his family back. As Chris spoke with reporters, investigative efforts continued around him, the very thing that would eventually lead police to allege that he knew about their disappearance.
So she's supposed to get home like 11. She got home at like 1:48. Got in bed about 2.
What was she going for, like family trip or like?
It was a Thrive direct sales.
In an interview with Dr. Phil, Shannon's mom expressed that she was glad when he went against her advice and granted the interview, because that was what gave police clues, especially the part where he talked about his daughter Bella in the past as if she was dead, when as at that time they were still missing.
What is her parents saying to you?
They're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know, because I mean they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is, I mean, you can't just drive around.
The next day, Chris got an invitation by the CBI, where Special Agent Graham Corder and Tammy Lee tried to get the truth out of him.
I promise you that.
He was asked to take a polygraph test, in which he accepted. After the test, CBI agent Tammy Lee explained that he was being wildly untruthful. She was highly skilled and had her ways with words. It wasn't long before Chris started confessing to the murder of his pregnant wife and little girls. He initially claimed that Shannon murdered their children, so he got angry and did same to her. But that was a lie, because after 2 years, he came up with the truth and confessed to the world how he smothered his 2 children and dumped their bodies in an oil tank. Shannon was buried in a shallow grave, so even in death, he did not allow them to be together. On November 6, 2018, Chris pleaded guilty to multiple counts of first-degree murder as part of a plea deal when the death penalty, which was later abolished in Colorado in 2020, was removed from sentencing. He was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole, 3 to be served consecutively. Shannon and her beautiful children were laid to rest on September 1st in North Carolina, where her parents are based. Family and friends gathered to say their goodbyes. Chris Watts, the perfect husband and father, as he was perceived by so many, who wore this mask of perfection for so long, but when he could not take it no more, he snapped and murdered his entire family, just because he wanted a fresh start with his girlfriend. Divorce is expensive, but it doesn't cost more than your freedom. Chris will always go down in history as an evil psychopath that had it all but threw it away for a piece of trailer trash.